In 2019, 93,284 reports of online sexual abuse content featuring minors were filed in the Netherlands. 3 in every 4 images or videos shows a girl aged 11 to 13 years old experiencing abuse of sexual nature. But what exactly is sexual abuse online? Where does it start? Sexual abuse does not need to involve physical touching. By definition, it includes all crimes committed against children where online tools and/or services are used. This consists of grooming, live streaming, consuming and producing child pornography, and coercing and blackmailing children for sexual abuse purposes.
Help.nl is an online helpline for children who are victims of online sexual abuse, and we are usually a first point of contact for children who have had their intimate images spread online without their consent, or who have been threatened or blackmailed online with their intimate images. And lastly, we speak to children who are victims of online grooming. The most common type of online sexual abuse that teenagers experience are extortion, which is what we call sextortion, which is the threatening or blackmailing with intimate images. That's the type of online sexual abuse that we receive the most. Secondly, it's the actual spreading without consent of those images, and we also see online grooming. It's hard to say how big this problem is in the Netherlands because we only see the people that seek help. But last year we've received 2,400 reports, and that is just in the Netherlands alone. So it's already quite a lot. But we know that it's just the tip of the iceberg because there are many more victims that don't really seek help. The impact of online sexual exploitation can be really big. Very often people think that it's not a big problem because it's just a picture or it's just online and it's not physical. But we know that there are many consequences that children can feel or can have from online sexual abuse. They can have psychological problems, they will have problems in school. Very often people report that they feel like everybody can see them naked when they walk around. And the problem with online sexual exploitation, especially if there's a picture that has been spread online, that there's always this scary thought that it can pop up again. So it's not something that happens just once. There is always the feeling that it might happen again. And that scary feeling can give a lot of anxiety.
In our experiment, we tried to visualize how easy it is to be targeted on social media. We turned one of us into a 12-year-old with a lot of editing and Photoshop. We studied the behavior of young teenagers on social media. We looked at how we should pose, what filters we should use, hashtags, descriptions. And so we created an account for Mara, a normal 12-year-old girl who just started using Instagram. She likes hockey and art. To comment on her pictures, we created virtual friends for Mara. All we had to do now was post the pictures and see if we would get any results. We never expected to get so many results in so little time. In less than 1 month, we have gotten in contact with more than 10 possible abusers. Every time we posted another picture, we would get more messages and requests. After we uploaded the profile picture, the requests to chat started to come. Where the chat started with a simple, "Hey, how are you?" ended with a demand for much more. We noticed very quickly that people wanted confirmation that the person on the picture was actually real. We also noticed that most abusers would first try to gain trust and then go further. 'Cause 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 ' after we posted the last picture, the messages requested started to come more and more, with the conversations also containing several sexual content. After a while, we blocked this account because we didn't want to continue with the conversation. But he came back to us with a different account demanding to unblock his other account. And so we did, to see what would happen next. Beside the conversations that we have shown, we have gotten so much more messages featuring the same content. We said 93,284 cases were reported in the Netherlands in 2019, but the actual number is way higher. Think about all the crimes that don't get reported. The actual number is closer to 120,000 cases. In that same year, the Internet Watch Foundation discovered and removed 132,676 websites displaying sexual abuse of a child. This is a 27% increase of the year before.
When online abuse happens to children, it's really important to talk about it, because a lot of children really don't talk about it, and they are very ashamed because they think they did something wrong themselves, which is simply not true. They are being exploited by other people, and it's really important to talk about it because we know that talking about it really helps. Secondly, it's really important to stop all contact with an offender. So whether it's an online groomer or someone who's blackmailing you or someone who's spreading your pictures, just block them and report them online. It's really important to check who you're chatting with, because what we see is that there are a lot of people online who pretend that they're someone else. This happens in the form of adult people who pretend to be minors, but also people who pretend to be an attractive girl to try and persuade someone to send intimate images, and then later blackmail them with those pictures. So it's really important to check who you're chatting with, and you can do that by just investigating their account. Do a reverse image search of their profile pictures, check the followers to see if they're real followers or just bots, or if their followers are always of a specific kind of person, for example, younger boys or girls, then that should be a sign that you should be careful. Well, teenagers can raise awareness about this topic by speaking out against abuse, because very often when there's, for example, a group chat and someone's pictures are being spread or someone is being bullied or harassed online, a lot of teenagers find it difficult to say something about it because they are afraid that there will be a falling out or that they won't seem cool or popular. And it's really important to stick up for people who are victims of online sexual abuse. And usually, because this doesn't happen, this feels like a second abuse by victims, because they are either being ignored or victim blamed or slut shamed by their peers.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic, more children are online due to school closure. Since the start of the pandemic, Interpol fears the amount of children subjected to online sexual abuse has increased dramatically. In fact, studies show that posts concerning this matter in known abuse forums have increased by 200% in 2020. So what should we do about it? We believe that technology is good and social media is relevant, especially in times of a pandemic where physical contact is limited. We just want you to be safe. When you meet people online, don't ever do something you are not comfortable with. When you experience abuse, report it. You can go to the police, your schools, friends, or family members, or contact one of these organizations to help you. Reporting abusers helps prevent more children from being victims of sexual exploitation. Where the abuse happens recently or in the past, it is never too late to file a report, and always know sexual abuse is never the fault of the victim.